Even though I've been actively following the development of Ashes of Creation since the Kickstarter in 2017, there's still things I found on the wiki that surprise and excite me. Now, most of the conversations about the game revolve around the few big topics: the nodes, the corruption system, the combat, the housing, etc. But there is so much more to the game than just these big concepts. So, in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at some of the things that aren't talked about so much, yet will likely have a big impact on the gameplay experience. Of course, everything I'm talking about is subject to testing and change, and since we don't know a ton about some of these features, there will be speculation involved. You have been warned. With that said, here are my top 5 underrated features in Ashes of Creation. First up is seasons. In Ashes of Creation, there will be seasons that change on a weekly basis, meaning 1 month in real time will effectively be 1 year in-game. Now, from what I can gather on the wiki, the seasons affect 3 main things: what resources are available, what roads and areas are accessible, and the power of certain spell elements. All 3 of these could potentially have a huge impact on gameplay and the decisions we'll have to make as players. If you need a certain herb to make a really important potion, and that herb can only be found during the summer, the herb and the potion it's made from will drastically increase in price compared to if it is available all the time. Personally, I think having seasons last only a single week is a bit too short, especially if it drastically affects what resources are available. I'd like to see each season last 2 weeks before changing, and this will help players who can only log in a single day per week to gather the resources they need. The seasons could also affect travel. If a particular trade route is blocked by snow during the winter, you will need to find another route that could potentially be more dangerous. Or maybe having ice freeze over a usually fast-flowing river will open up a route that is normally unavailable. And this goes for attacking a caravan too. It will be a little awkward, camping out a mountain pass that nobody is using because it's blocked by snow. So what about the elements? As a mage, or any other character that deals elemental damage, you're going to have to think carefully about what spells you equip based on the weather you'll be travelling in. The last thing you want is to try using an ice spell in the middle of a heat wave while travelling through a desert. The possibilities for this are truly staggering, and I can't wait to see what Intrepid does with this. This is where the dynamic world of Ashes of Creation could really shine. As Stephen has said in this quote, "I want you to feel the difference around you. I want Ashes to immerse you in the sights and sounds of the forest you are moving through and the ridges of the canyon you desperately cling to." Next on the list is social organizations, which are basically like NPC-run guilds you find in any Elder Scrolls game. Right now, we've only been told about 3: the Scholars Academy, the Thieves Guild, and the Traders Company. Much like the guilds in Elder Scrolls, the social organizations will have their own progression paths for players that are separate from the main leveling progression. Rising through the ranks in these organizations will unlock specific exclusive questlines and augments to use on your character. Since a player can only pledge loyalty to a single organization at a time, you'll have to think carefully about which one you choose based on RP value or the benefits that organization can offer you. Let me know in the comment section below which of these 3 you'd like to join. For me, it will probably be the Scholars Academy for that sweet knowledge that only a bookworm would have access to. Plus, who knows, they might send me on a mission to explore some ancient ruins like a fireball-slinging Indiana Jones. And if you thought that the social organizations gave you a lot of options, then oh boy, let's dive into the religions. In Ashes, there are 7 religions, 6 primary ones, and a separate tonal religion that is a combination of the religious beliefs of the other 6. As players, we can choose a single religion to follow, and like the social organizations, progressing through a religious order unlocks quests and augments not available to the others. But this goes even further. Divine nodes can build temples devoted to a particular religion, which could potentially cause conflict between the religious followers who want their own religion's temple in their local node. One thing I will say though is that all of these different paths that grant gameplay augments do worry me a little bit, as the more gameplay options you add into the game, the harder it is to balance. It's entirely possible that a certain social organization or religion will be so much stronger than the others based on the augments they offer, which would be pretty bad. Personally, I would be fine if the religions and social organizations only offered cosmetics, quests, and titles for progression, but we'll have to see how Intrepid handles these. This one is a little bit obscure, and that is players as quest objectives. This has only been briefly talked about by the devs, where players effectively become a walking, talking quest objective. Here is what Stephen has said about it. That kind of emergent gameplay is obviously the objective behind how we can accommodate a non-static quest line, and the way you can do it is to apply a flag to a title, and whoever holds that title becomes the target of that quest segment. So let's say you are a high-ranking member of the Order of Hope, and your religious leader is worried that the Order of Fate is getting a bit too strong lately. So they give you a quest to kill some Order of Fate members of a certain rank. Or maybe your node is preparing to go to war with another node, and so you are given a quest to steal from the citizen players of that rival node. This kind of player-focused quest isn't something I've encountered in an MMORPG before. The closest I've seen is WoW, where you might have a daily quest to kill a certain number of enemy faction players, but that's about it. And quite frankly, you were probably planning on doing that anyway. It's not special. Again, there are lots of ways Intrepid could use this kind of system, and I'm excited to see what they could do with it. And last but not least, we have bulletin boards. This is what I'm personally most excited for. This is Intrepid's answer to the disaster that is automated group finders you see in other modern MMORPGs. Thankfully, there isn't a single button you can press to join a dungeon group that requires no player communication at all. Instead, the bulletin boards are very much community driven and require a lot more social interaction to get a group going. As an added bonus, the bulletin boards can be placed in player-run taverns in the open world, making them a hub for player interaction as well. But dungeon runs aren't the only thing the boards can be used for. I imagine quite a lot of players will either be looking to hire other people for tasks or be hired in turn for their services. I know a lot of players are planning on becoming mercenaries, and the bulletin boards are going to be invaluable for them to find work. Need to go into a dungeon to gather a super rare ore, but you're still combat level 1 because you spent all your time hammering rock instead of the local wildlife? Use a bulletin board to hire some bodyguards to help you out. The boards also include a market UI that will display items for sale and where to get them. You'll still have to physically go to the store and buy those items, of course, but you won't have to search around blindly at every store just to find that rare herb for your potion. The bulletin boards have the potential to open up entire new avenues of gameplay, and I for one am going to make full use of it. So that pretty much wraps up my top 5 underrated features, although honestly there were so many things on the wiki that I could have included in here. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video with some more later down the line. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Ashes of Creation content. For now though guys, have a fantastic day and I'll see you next time.